Start.
Hello everybody, I am Ponita Reasmey and
this is Manyi. Hi, we are saying hi from Anju Ancient Town.
Yep, we're just 90 miles northwest of Chongqing at the moment, and we're here at an ancient city that's about that was founded 1,400 years ago.
Yeah.
I hope you enjoyed the dragon dance. We're about to take you for a little stroll through these ancient streets and do our best to introduce some of the history,
you want to
the
know
customs.
About Anju Ancient Town. And the dragon dance we just seen, it is because Anju Ancient Town is one of the birthplace of dragon dance. So it has lots of famous handicrafts making the dancing, making the dragons, and also the dancers. They're very professional here. So Ponita, would you like to introduce a little bit about this town?
Sure thing. Well, apart from what I quickly researched earlier, it was founded, as I said, 1,400 years ago. The structures are very old. It's been well preserved from ancient China, mainly the Ming and Qing dynasty. You're going to be in for a little bit of a surprise later on, to show you a little bit about the customs and culture of the Qing and Ming eras.
Yeah.
So here we are at the Anju Ancient Town.
Yeah, at the entrance, it is has a greenery, the exhibition of all kinds of old plants. I think they have ferns here, right?
Of course.
Shows the long history of this town.
This is a good, I guess, one thing we can tell with these rocks and algae growing on the rocks is that this is a very old place. You've got very old architecture all around, and our cameraman's going to give you a bit of a view, a bit of a show.
And it grows so well, maybe because Anju Ancient Town located on the junction of the Pei River and the Chung River, right?
Yes.
So the water just gave a lot of fertilizer to the soil and the plants here.
Exactly. I think what is interesting about this place is that it's been built. This town has been built between mountains and over some hills, and so you've got, I guess, an uphill, downhill kind of feel, which is very rare to find in China. A lot of places that have old structures are usually on flat lands, and a lot of tourists come. And the thing about this place is that it's kind of far out of town, so it hasn't quite been tampered with by tourists and crowds and so on. But still,
has their primary simplicity of its own. And when we are talking about rivers, and we always see boats by the rivers, and one of the speciality of this place is that it used to have lots of boats for the dogs. There are two famous dogs here, and I think this boat is one of the remains from the old times.
Well, I'm glad that it's being put to good use. It's used as sort of like a mini flower
for lots of cluster of
a mini garden outside of these homes. So, do people still live in this area?
Yeah, people still living here, as far as I know. Most of them, they are locals, and now they're doing business. But in the past, I think they're all peasants here.
Okay. Yeah. Well, just to remind our audience, we are live streaming here at Anju Ancient Town, 90 miles from Chongqing. Before I continue, I think yes, over 1,000 years of history. I think we're about to see. Oh, okay. Yeah. We have a little bit of a reenactment. Here comes the county chief.
County chief. Oh, I think we have to just stay back.
Okay.
The government here functions very well here because lots of talents was born in this place.
This is known to be a very, I guess this is where artists and literary scholars they gather and have their, I imagine. So what you just saw is a procession, from that dates back to the Ming dynasty. Am I right? It was the Ming dynasty. Oh, let's have a look at some of the snacks here.
Oh, it's famous local products. It's twisted doughs.
Let's have a try.
Yeah, it has several different tastes. This one's nice.
I like this one. This is kind of spicy.
And this one has black sesame on it. It's crispy.
So this is quite traditional, isn't it? Or has this been? Is this something quite recent?
Actually, it's very traditional for Sichuan, for this place, and also for Anju Ancient Town. And people love to buy something for their friends and family members.
I guess what I like about this place is that it's not overly commercial, just because it's kind of far out of town.
Yeah. And it's kind of difficult to keep it crispy because it's a humid weather here, and I think they must have their own ways to keep it.
That's true. That's true. So to continue about the procession earlier, that was a procession that reenacts the route of the county chief. Was that right?
Yeah, the county chief.
The county chief
has built a very nice town for us.
So it was a county chief that is in charge of the structure or like the building of this area.
Yeah,
right?
I think he takes care of the whole Anju cities. That's why we can see the city similar to its old style.
That's true. That's true. They've done really well to preserve the architecture of this place.
Did you find the architecture here is a little bit different from the architecture in the north or the eastern or southern part of China?
Sadly, I haven't been to the southern part of China. I mean, this is the most south that I've been, actually. Okay.
And here, I have a quiz for you, Ponita.
Oh.
Do you know what it is used for in old times?
Obviously not as a plant pot.
Here, it's like a blanket, velvet blanket.
It's not itchy, is it?
Yeah. Okay. And you can see people carved into it.
That's true. You see faces. I imagine there are probably stories that these
faces are telling stories.
What do you know? I mean, we can't really see, but what kind of stories are being told on these? A clue of what this is? Sure.
Yeah. You can see the architecture on both sides are made of wood. So it means that, wood is very easy to catch.
Fire.
Yeah, fire.
Okay. So I guess this is so it's kind of like a fire extinguisher?
Yeah, it's old-fashioned fire extinguisher. They're very creative. They collect rainwaters into that pot, and then they will use it when some incidents happen, accidents happen.
So like any tourist attraction, you will always find gift shops or handicrafts being sold. And so you can see over here, they're selling traditional shoes, right?
Yeah, made of rami.
Rami. Okay, I guess that's kind of that's a type of grass.
Yeah.
I guess the insoles are made of that.
Because weather here is very wet, humid, and hot in summer, so people usually we wear this kind of shoes to avoid smelly and sweaty feet.
Okay. So, oh, this is really interesting. It looks very comfortable. Do you have one of
Do you
these?
want? Yeah. You can have a try.
I'm not going to try. Not sure the audience wants to see my feet right now. Okay.
It's a rainbow color.
It's very soft.
It's very soft.
They
Yeah.
have all sorts of designs. And is the embroidery traditional embroidery, or is it something that's been created later?
As you know, that this town is very old, and in the old times, it has built a bark kingdom in this place. So there are certain patterns that reflects the times of the Bark Kingdom. You see, they have the patterns for the flowers and the clouds and the phoenix.
It's very characteristic of Chinese art, I imagine. Yeah.
Together with the walls and architectures here show the past glory of this old town.
Ooh, more snacks. I don't know, we just had lunch, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be
We can just wait a little bit.
We'll wait a little bit later.
To see. So this town is quite different from what we have seen in Chongqing, in the downtown and other places, right?
That's true. I think we were in Chongqing City, I think yesterday and for a few days, and we went to visit a place called
CGTN.
CGTN has the same kind of, well, in my opinion, from what I see, because I don't know very much, they have very similar, I guess, ancient structures from Ming and Qing dynasties as well, but it's just overcrowded with tourists and very commercial shops and skewers.
You can find serenity there.
Modern snacks and so on. The thing about what I like about this place is that it's very quiet and it's not, too crowded. So I guess the residents here are able to sort of maintain a quiet, peaceful way of life amidst the nature and fresh air. We're 2 hours away from the main city?
Yeah, about 2 hours. And it shows a very big construction to the modern Chongqing city.
That's true.
And now,
it's a breath of fresh air, literally.
Here we can see a little bottle of wines. These wines, they are just locally brewed.
It's rice wine, right?
Yeah, it's rice wine. Glutinous rice wine, actually.
I particularly like this one over here.
Let's see how strong it will be. Can you guess? How does it smell like?
45 度. So that's like 45 degrees. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I've tried
45 degrees. It will be very similar to white wine.
White wine. Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah. We'll move on. I think this is a very narrow street, and so we've got a long way to go, but I don't know if we have enough time to go all the way to the end, but we'll show you as much as we can of this place. So I wonder if there are people living upstairs.
I think there are people living there, but now they're just there out. Well, they're still, I think they cannot live in these places all the time because they have to protect them.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
we also have a very modern places like coffee shops here.
That's true. I mean, we were walking through these streets earlier just to have a feel of the place, and
but usually people here, they do not have cake for coffee.
That's true.
We can have this.
Oh, okay. So
it's
what?
Very traditional sweets here.
So what this is what? It's a glutinous rice snack, right?
Yes, we can take a look at inside that basket. They have waters and with glutinous rice. And when the rice is soaked with waters, and they will put the waters and rice into this hole. Yes, and then they will do this.
It's nice that they maintain the traditional way of making this.
Enough strength to move it. Oh, it's so heavy.
Let me try.
Yeah, you can have a try.
Yeah.
I will check if this equipment is right. Oh, you're stronger than me. You're much stronger. I'll help you. So you see, the juice just coming out from the middle of it and then go into this pot.
Right.
Yes.
I see. All right, so this over here, you see there's rice and water.
Yeah.
It's a glutinous rice. So when you put it into here, I guess it churns it into what? A more floury texture. And then you...
This, and then you steam it. Finally.
And this is the product. The end product. So the leaves are what? Orange leaves, right?
Yeah,
or
use
citrus
orange-
leaves?
orange
leaves.
leaves.
Interesting. Okay. Nice. It's rare to find these kinds of ancient or traditional machinery.
It's very delicious. I think we should taste it later.
Yeah.
Oh, the county chief once again.
Oh, the county chief. Let's make way for the county chief.
Let's move. We'll just wait a little bit.
Okay. So the county chief is not the real county chief. It was what you saw just now was just a reenactment of what it was like back in the day.
Yeah.
So in a way, it's like coming back. It's like a blast from the past. You know, we live our lives in very modern. We live a very modern lifestyle, full of stress and it's not very often that we get to appreciate what's like how people back in the day lived. I imagine it's still quite hard because life just isn't easy.
Yeah. Oh, here we are. A very beautiful architecture.
It's called the Queen of Heaven. No.
Yeah, Temple of the Queen of Heaven.
Temple of the Queen of Heaven. So this is where people worship
the Queen of Heaven.
The Queen of Heaven. So what is she exactly?
She's actually a girl and did a lot to the local people and prevented the peoples from from flooded situations. And the local government just want to honor it. And in the end, they just built a temple and to worship her in order to and wish for the peacefulness for the next year.
How long ago was this built? Do you know? Does it say anywhere on here?
Yeah, we can go inside and check.
Okay, let's have a look. Just quickly to our audience, if you have any questions, feel free to
Follow us on Weibo, Facebook, and WeChat.
And ask our questions, and we'll do our best. Yeah, ask us questions and do our best. We'll do our best to answer them. I'm not a historian, so I'm relying on Manyi, who is Chinese. Although she's not from here, she's from Hangzhou.
I'm not trying to figure out, so we should go
We're both still trying to figure things out. Yeah. But she probably knows a little bit more about Chinese culture, so I'm glad that she's here with me and to help me out.
So, Ponita, do you find the color of this temple here a little bit different?
Yeah, it's a sign of age, isn't it?
Yeah, it's called a coffee color.
That's
and the coffee color shows that at least this structure have 500 years history.
I can tell. See, a lot of temples in Beijing or in big cities that the main tourist attractions for, you know, overseas travelers, they tend to be, they've been renovated and they've been refurbished, so you can't really appreciate the age as much as we want. You know, we can just read about the history, but to get a feeling of how old it is and how long it's lasted is difficult.
And the temple is very much important to local people because, you know, usually by the riverside, it is very easily to get flooded.
Oh, that's true. Interesting.
Okay, let's go and check somewhere else.
I think we can move on.
Yeah, you can see the eaves here.
The leaves?
The eaves here.
Oh, yeah. So, I notice a lot of temples have dragons. Are those dragons?
I think they have bats.
Oh, they're bats.
Yeah.
What's a symbol of the bat here in China?
Oh, symbol of bat is also happiness, a sign of happiness and a power and longevity. Yeah, so you can see lots of bats.
Great. Let's move on. Well, I guess these shops are for residents in this area, more so than tourists, because we can get these toys just about anywhere.
So now we're going to check out something nice to eat.
I see it. Okay,
Do you
so
feel a little hungry?
I've just had
take a
lunch, but
little
maybe
while
afterwards.
because we don't have much time.
So this is a very
Yeah.
traditional snack,
Yeah,
I guess, a
local
Chongqing
snack.
local snack
Yeah.
in Chongqing.
We have different kinds of sauces and seasonings to add on top of a bean curd.
Bean curds, right, like tofu. So is there a difference?
豆腐脑. It's a very traditional kind of tofu. Although you can also find it in Beijing, but the difference here is that you won't use as much as
Right.
yes.
I've never seen the
sauces,
shredded
yeah.
chicken, actually. I mean, I see a lot of other condiments, but
Yes.
shredded chicken is pretty new, in my opinion. I've tried also. I think I've tried most snacks, but
You won't get it.
I'm always surprised by new snacks being sold on the streets everywhere I go.
It's so
in China.
colorful.
Yeah, it's always
It's the
colorful.
most colorful kind of bean curd tofu now I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's true.
Before.
Maybe we'll have some of that later.
Yeah.
So this over here is
Yeah.
what we're about to go into is what it's called the
湖广会馆.
湖广会馆.
Which 湖广 Guild Hall we also can call it. And telling from the two lines here and the roofs here, I think it should be a very rich owner who has built it or owns it.
From what I've been told, it used to be the this was the home of the former theater owner back in the day, of course. Right now, it's a site for it's a site for visitors and to.
Do you know what does the function of the 会馆 or
No.
Guild Hall?
Is it for gathering? Because I know there's a stage and they serve tea and so on, but what types of people gather here?
Actually, as we have already just checked before, there are lots of immigrants comes to Sichuan province from all the other provinces over the China during Qing dynasty and Ming dynasty. So when lots of immigrants they just comes to Sichuan and make homes here, settle down,
Right.
they have to communicate with each other. They have to get to know each other. So this 湖广会馆 is the people comes from, or the immigrants comes from Hubei and Hunan provinces.
So
They
why
gather
have they
here.
moved? Like, why did they move from Hubei or Hunan to Chongqing exactly?
Yeah,
because there
because-
must have been something that attracted, immigrants from there to come here to cross the harsh river
Yeah.
and the currents.
At that time, the central government has a policy to support the immigrants to come to Sichuan so that they can contribute their talents and their sweat to this land. Because Sichuan is a very disastrous place because it is on the hill, on the mountain, and
right.
also by the river. So it happens when they have local disasters and the population just shrinks quickly.
Right.
So they need more people to do the construction work.
So these people are encouraged to come. It's not really by choice.
Yeah, they encourage, but I think they also see the opportunities to be here.
I think we can take a moment to appreciate the intricate designs that have been so well preserved.
Yeah.
On the ceilings.
I've been to lots of old places, residents, but I've never seen so many boards. So many boards with Chinese calligraphy hanging in one room at one time.
Well, what's interesting to me is that they didn't even paint these walls. They left it as it is. I don't know how
Yeah,
long
the original ones.
Yeah. I'm not sure how original it is. I
Yeah.
feel like it must have been painted at some point.
Yeah, I think
but
the
it
reason
still
for
looks
the
old
owner
enough.
to hang so many boards in his room is that he would not only want to show his knowledge, but also to show his power as an organizer for this whole guild.
So here we have 3 gods in China. One of them, I think Manyi can explain to us later
Okay.
which is which. But I know that the 3, I guess,
You can tell from the appearance.
the 3 wishes are usually prosperity, longevity,
Yeah.
and what's the other one? Happiness.
Yeah,
So
happiness.
which is which is the happiness and which is the longevity? And
Usually
which is
the one with popped up forehead it represents for the longevity. And the middle one is the one in charge of wealth.
right.
The things that he's holding in his hands represents for the it's a
okay.
sign of the wealth. And the other one you see he's holding a boy, so it means happiness. It will
Children.
Be happy. Yeah, children.
Okay.
Raise your happiness.
So are these gods that people pray to?
Yeah,
Or-
they just worship these gods and wish to get the blessings from these gods.
So my understanding is that having these gods positioned in the front is sort of a way to protect the household.
Yeah.
Because where we are now is not only a theater, it's also the home of an average or of a middle class family at the time. So let's have a look inside and see the kinds of, to see the rooms that people back in the day
Although
lived
it
in.
functions most as a guild hall later, but at first it was residence for middle class.
Okay. So over here, come along.
Come too close.
Yes. So this is a ladies' bedroom, right? Or a girls' bedroom? A typical-
unmarried girls.
Unmarried.
Yeah, unmarried
This is a
girls.
typical bedroom of an unmarried woman.
In the old times, the girls are always hidden.
Right.
Yeah, because
Before they're married.
Before their marriage, they do not usually come out and see the strangers. They just stay in their rooms.
I love the old furniture.
Old original.
See, I see a lot of these in antique shops, but I always fear that they're not real antiques. Like they've just
But
been
they're
made.
real. They're so real. I was
Right.
told that the furniture inside is from Qing Dynasty.
Okay, so here we have sort of like a family pond, or like an indoor pond.
Yeah, in a
so
pond.
I've heard that in Chinese culture, having water in the house is very, very important. It's like a
Yeah.
it's about
Feng
about
shui. It's
feng
about
shui,
feng
right?
shui.
Right, that's it.
So the feng shui in Anju Town, it like goes like this: is that local people they view the value of the waters as important as silver. So they think that if
Water
you
is
have,
silver.
Yeah, you have pond to collect the rainwaters. It means that you will always have silver and have wealth accompanies you.
And the animals living here, are they pets or are they?
And turtles.
Oh, I mean, I know they're turtles, but are they usually? I mean, do families back in the day raise animals in these waters?
I think
Or
they
in-
do not raise them. They just want to release them to return them to nature. Maybe they,
That's a very Buddhist thing.
yeah, very Buddhist thing.
Oh, we didn't get to look inside here, but let's have a look here. So this is a bedroom as well
A bedroom for kid.
for kids.
And a bedroom for the eldest kid, for this family.
Right, the boy.
Only he has an honor.
So usually the oldest kid in the family always
Yeah,
gets
first boy.
his or her own, or well, back in the day it was, the first boy always gets his own bedroom for, I don't know what reason, but I guess they give a lot of value to the
Yeah.
oldest child. Yeah. So I'm hoping to catch a performance, but I'm
Yeah.
not sure if it's gonna occur at the moment. Maybe we can find out if something's gonna...
if we'll have a chance to see something going on the stage. This stage is also very well made.
Oh, I think we're just in
Let's
time.
take a seat.
Let's have a look.
Yeah.
Let's have a watch. I don't know what exactly this performance will be. I think we're both in for a surprise. Let's have a seat. I don't know. For me, when music starts, I feel like there's always a performance.
I think it's kind of mixed with modern and traditional
It's like a fusion.
and local.
Oh, I think he's on his way to meet us. I'm about to meet a celebrity. So cool. Oh! Very impressive. 谢谢你.
It's just in a blink of an eye. It's so close, but I don't know how they did it.
再见. That was quite a performance.
Yeah.
I've seen something similar in Beijing, but I mean, I've never actually shaken hands with the performer himself and have him change his face right in front of me within like
And
what?
the face change used to scare off wild animals in the past, but nowadays it's just a performing art.
Right,
Such
right.
a perfect day for our exploration in
That's true.
Ancient Town.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, so I hope you enjoyed that performance. I hope you enjoyed our tour of Anju Ancient Town here in 90 miles from Chongqing. Don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Weibo, and the CGTN app. This is Ponita Reasmey, and
This is Manyi. Stay tuned with us.
stay tuned with us on CGTN, and we're gonna go have a snack, some of that tofu. It looked really good. Bye.